At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome into a Wednesday show. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland. Appreciate you guys going out of your way to find us today. We are only right now on the video streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as Allo Channel 961 all across the great state of Nebraska. Big thanks to Starter Heyman Jewelers for sponsoring those live streams and Allo for giving us Channel 961. Greatly appreciated, because without them, we would not be on the air today. Otherwise, you'd be listening to the Royals on the radio. Definitely stay tuned for that. They're in a little bit of a rain delay theater right now, such as it is out in Baltimore. Welcome into the show. Lots to get to, and Strick, this just kind of came over Twitter, and so I think it's worth getting to. Scott Frost speaks. He finally sat down with Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports. That article just published a couple minutes ago. Highly recommend you guys to check that out. But let's just ask this question first. Were you interested in hearing from Scott Frost at some point? He hasn't really spoken hardly at all since he left Nebraska. Were you interested to hear from Scott Frost at any point, or is it just kind of whatever? If we hear from him, great. If not, great.
Well, we did the poll, and the poll came up that he was in, I think, if I remember correctly, he was in third place. So a lot of you guys spoke about it. You had your feelings on it, and I think the poll was, I think the worst was Steve Peterson. Steve Peterson, yep. The worst was Steve Peterson. And I think you guys really were happy about Bo Pelini. So Scott speaking on it and his decision to do so, I think the timing of it is interesting. And here's why I can understand the timing of it. As someone who has been retired, and I knew what that was like. I'm sitting down in Orlando, and you're retired, and you can travel, and you play golf, and you do a lot of those things. And you're sitting at home, and you've got a newborn. You've got and you know, those things all of a sudden start to carry a little bit more weight, a little bit differently. And if you're still a young guy, I mean, Scott's still fairly young. He hasn't hit 50 yet, so you still kind of want to do something. He doesn't have that charisma to kind of go on and do TV stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think Scott is very siloed. Scott, to me, he comes off to me as like the accountant. Have you ever seen that movie, The Accountant?
Yes.
Just one of those guys that just they're really good in their silo. I mean, he was just once he gets locked in on something, he's just good at doing what he's done. He'll lock himself in a room for days and
go ham.
Go nuts, right? But not necessarily talk and communicate, and he doesn't have that type of charisma. So I always thought that him being a offensive coordinator, I think that's his sweet spot, because you're kind of in a silo. You know what I mean? Like, you have responsibility, but you don't. Giving him the total responsibility where you have to kind of go out and meet and greet and be face and do all of that. Yeah, you have some components of it, but it's not to the level of a head coach. I think that's where he's best served. So I think he's positioning himself. I think the time he's taken off, you would have, if you want to kind of take that one rung back or half a rung back or a rung and a half back, you want to get out there quick, while you can. Yes,
while your name's out there, still some buzz.
Yeah, you want to jump out there quick, even if you want to take a jump into the NFL or something of that nature. You want to do it quickly. But now that time has passed, you kind of got to rebuild yourself. And I could see him going to a mid-tier, maybe not an SEC or Big Ten school, but probably a mid-tier, no longer Pac-12. So.
Like a Mountain West sort of job?
Yeah. Mountain West, San Diego State, maybe even a Utah.
Utah's pretty high level.
They're pretty good. They're high level.
Utah
I'm trying
State.
to think. Yeah, maybe.
Something like that.
Maybe, I could see like an SMU. You know what I mean? When I say mid-tier, but now the conferences are getting so big.
Right.
So when I'm saying mid-tier, let me just go to, let me retract that and come back and say mid-tier, like of a, I still don't think SEC, maybe Big 12, maybe ACC,
like MAC,
Virginia
level,
Tech,
Sun Belt,
Virginia.
or you think he could go Power 4?
I think he could go. I think he could do that, but not a top level, not like Florida State in the ACC, not like North Carolina,
not as a coordinator, ACC. Not right now.
No, but I can see him hitting like a Virginia Tech, or you know what I'm saying, somebody that understands that he does still have that great knowledge amongst them, and they could probably use it. I just don't see it being like a Texas A&M or some of that even that's kind of mid-tier, but not that level. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. On that front,
I mean, tell me, I want your thoughts. 402-464-5685. Obviously, we're not on the air right now with the Royals, but we're on stream. Jump on the stream.
You still have text line open as well.
The text line's open, 402-464-5685. That is the number to where you can engage with us by text, or you can jump on the stream, because I really would like to know what your thoughts are. I mean, say what you will about him. I wasn't a very good head coach, and that's okay. You know what I mean? There were just some things about it. I think the pressure, the weight of it, coming back here, a lot of that weighed on him, but I think he's still pretty good. I think he can still do a good job somewhere.
I'm absolutely with you. And here's what Scott Frost had to say himself in this article. Quote, "Coaching is what I do. It's what I'm good at. It's what I love." End quote. Okay. If that's what he thinks about himself. At the very start of this article, Scott Frost himself says, "For the first time in my life, I don't know what's next. I'm dying to get back in." Yeah. It sounds like that Scott Frost still has confidence in himself and his abilities, and he wants another crack at it. But elsewhere in the article, and I don't think these two things are necessarily in conflict with one another. He believes in himself, he's confident, and he's also willing to wait for the right job. He's happy where he's at right now. He got a $15 million buyout. Like, he's fine. He's chilling. He's got 3 kids at home, the article says. Good for him. I mean, they're young. They're growing up. I mean, I see that. There are moments that I don't want to miss with my kids, so I can understand him wanting to stay home, enjoying the lifestyle that he has right now. But at some point, he's going to have to pick, not choose between them, but weigh, can I afford to wait until my kids are all walking? Can I afford to wait till they're all in middle school to get another job again? Probably not. It's probably going to have to be sooner than later if he really does think that coaching is still in his future and that's what's next for him. He says right now he doesn't know what's next necessarily in the article as well. He says he's gone from being a high school player to a college player to a pro player, right to being a coach. He basically didn't have a break from the time he picked up high school football. And I can understand how that'd be a whirlwind. It'd be a lot, and maybe having some time to reflect and figure out, what is the best role for me? Do I still think I can be a head coach? Do I still want that responsibility? Or am I good being a career position coach? Or maybe if the right coordinator job comes open, maybe that's a better fit. Maybe that's what I learned about myself is that, yeah, head coaches get a lot of the notoriety and attention, but maybe my skills, to your point about being siloed, maybe my skills are best served as focusing as a coordinator where, yeah, I'll go recruit a little bit. Yeah, I'll be in front of the media a little bit, but 90% of my job, 85% of my job will be to draw up plays and call plays.
And I'm in the box and I'm looking down and I'm partially delegating because you like I said, you have responsibility, but you don't. I think style of play matters for Scott. You know what I mean? You can understand just the wide open nature of Oregon is why it worked for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I couldn't see him being in like Iowa.
No. His name was thrown out there for that OC job, though, which is kind of funny.
I couldn't see. I mean, maybe Iowa's a type of guy that's what you kind of need. Maybe somebody that's going to give you a little bit of poke in the rear to kind of get things a little bit more sexy, a little bit things more fiery, little things more, tricky. It's so basic, and I mean, I would have loved to play D-back or a linebacker against Iowa because it was basic. A lot of the stuff, their route combinations were whack and basic. I used to tell Keegan all the time when I talked to him when he was playing at Iowa, I'd be like, boy, like your route tree and combinations are just easy. Like I couldn't expect you to get all kinds of separation with the way that they kind of run their route tree. So I mean, that's what I say. Maybe it is something that they need. I don't know, but I think style matters for where he would end up going.
It absolutely does. And that's the thing. He says he's going to pick the right job for him, and his family, because that's a bigger consideration now than ever has before. The article even says Frost is comfortable living in Arizona with his 3 young children. He has time to play, and the family prefers the location so much that it might be hard moving back to a small college town. The NFL also remains an option. In the end, though, Frost has 15 million reasons to take his time. Obviously, $15 million, the amount of the buyout. And
could he go back to UFC or UCF? Like,
maybe,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, I think
Gus Malzahn.
Like, what I would possibly do is maybe go back and do analyst work.
Start somewhere.
But you go back to where there was, not unless they have animosity, but a lot of people I think at UCF could in their minds and their hearts say, I understand, Scott, why you left us.
The college football fans, yes. I think there's a lot of leftover bitterness from UCF, from the people that maybe don't understand the big picture college football. Like, it's Nebraska. You're in Orlando. Build us into a power. Do the Dusty May thing, like you talked about before, he ended up going to Michigan ultimately. So I think there are a few people left that have some loud voices that are, why would you ever leave the weather and the opportunity in Orlando? But I think the vast majority of people are where you're saying, where they understand why he had to take that chance to go back to Nebraska.
Yeah. So like I would look at those type of places. I would look at Oregon. I would look at you want to go back to a place where there was success, where there was a life, there was a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Where you could have a pulse. Where like here is it's unfortunately like it's flatlined. But I think there you might have something. And like I say, if you have to start over and go back, maybe you don't walk into a high level position, but step into a needed position or step into a co-position where you're counseling or you're helping out or you're, and that would be good for you because that really not a lot of weight. You're just basically able to just be your creative self. and just do all the things you love and spill out ideas and bounce off ideas and not necessarily have to take the weight of the decisions that are going to be made in those situations. And that might be a good look for him.
Let's shift the tenor of this conversation just a little bit. The entire point of this is not to relitigate what happened or what didn't happen at Nebraska. It's in the past. It's done. It's gone. In the article, Scott Frost talked about not wanting to talk about Nebraska, right? He said that's the past. I don't have much to say on it, which is fair, right? I mean, I think when Husker fans thought about the forthcoming Scott Frost sit down, they shouldn't have expected him to air all the dirty laundry or be overly bitter about it. Like, I think Scott Frost understands the business, but also I hope Husker fans are at peace with how things went down. Frustrated by it, disappointed that it got to that point, but obviously Scott Frost has moved on. He doesn't want to talk about it. Husker fans do the same. That'd be my advice, right? There's no need to be venomous, no need to relitigate anything. And I think Red Riles here has the right idea on Twitter, saying, I'd hope Scott Frost could be our offensive coordinator before he came the head coach. And then the one that you put up on screen, Strick, I want to see Coach Frost be successful like he was at UCF. There's definitely a route, an avenue for that. And I know Husker fans want more of the story. They want more of the dirty details. But I do think Scott Frost is professional enough, and if he's keeping his future in mind, wanting another job, if he was done coaching, he would air all the dirty laundry. He would come out with a big tell-all, a big sit-down. This is a really modest, small article. You don't get a whole lot into the psyche and the mindset of Scott Frost, and I think that's fine. You know, he talked, he did his little media bit, and now we can move on with his life. I think that's about all we could have expected from a sit-down with Scott Frost.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that at all. And that's fine. There's not really for me to elaborate on that. I just wish him well. Wish him and him going forward. I don't ever want a fellow Husker to fall and fail and give up in the game. But I also would like for to see and get a good understanding of where and what's next for him, and I'll cheer for him and hope that he does the best that he can do.
How long do you think it is before Scott Frost gets back into coaching? Do you take him at his word that he wants to get back, and how long does it take to find that fit that you were talking about?
Yeah.
2 more years?
I think it's time.
5?
I think you being in the situation. This is why I know the conversation's coming up now, because that. When you get to the end of that, you would love to add on to that and not begin to just pull from that. You maintained and you built yourself and your family a good living, and at some point I think you get tired. You just get tired of just being stagnant. Like I said, he's still a young man. You can play only so much golf. You can chill only so much. You can sit out by the pool and have Mai Tais and pina coladas only so much before there's something in you. And I know because I felt it. I was sitting in the back. It was me and a good friend of mine, Tim Grayman, and shout out to Tim Grayman out in Orlando. And we're sitting on my back patio and I'm like, dang, man, I'm bored. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I want something to do. This is before I even started here with the ticket. And he was like, man, I have a project that I'm working on. And it was something that was fresh. It was new. It was something I'd never done before. And I helped him with that. He has a construction company. I helped him to build out a project. It was a 5 buildings. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. It was 4 buildings, 31 units, 4-level townhouses. But it was interesting. It was like, it was something. It was like a new toy, that I got a chance to grow and learn and study and took over that project and helped to build it out to where it sold. Ultimately, the bank was able to sell it. And so that was fun and that was interesting. And I can understand because I was sitting in Scott's seat after retirement, and you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, what am I going to do? And I think it gets to that point.
So if I'm reading between the lines and hearing your words correctly, do you think this is the kickoff for Scott Frost getting back into coaching? Do you think this is the first Scott Frost taking this opportunity to talk to the media to say, hey, I'm ready to get back, someone reach out?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to me that he's very assertive. Former Husker and Nate Turner, he makes some valid points here. He's played here, he spent time here, and he did speak about some facts. That was a fact. He came into a UCF team and took over a UCF team that was emerging, and they were able to do it. I think one of the knocks against Scott was recruitment. He just not able to go out and solidify, because again, that's his personality. He doesn't have that. This is why I truly believe that offensive coordinator is best for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I think if he's a position coach, I don't know if he has that personal ability to, just engage on certain levels with people. He comes off sometimes as aloof and disingenuine. But you can grow from that. Maybe in this time, he took some courses. What are some of those courses I took?
Well, the courses would be having children. It changes you.
Well, yeah, that too. Just dealing with people on a different level and outside the spectrum of sports,
mm-hmm.
which, like you said, from the time he continued on throughout his career, it's always been part of who he was, and
mm-hmm.
now it hasn't been for a few years. So yeah, we'll see.
Us on the block, we're wishing Scott Frost the best. Nice to hear from him. Interesting little piece again from Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports. Let us know your thoughts, 402-464-5685, or on any of the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter up and running for you. If you're watching us on Allo Channel 961, that is truly appreciated. Nebraska football, current edition, coached by Matt Rule, released its Nebraska Spring League rosters. Let's go over those. Who's on which team? We'll give you that information and plenty more as we continue here into On the Block.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Grab a free burger and beer at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln on April 27th during their Husker Spring Game tailgate. Meet the Elway Power Sports team, play some tailgate games with them, and enter for a chance to win an official John Elway autographed football. Check out their huge selection of boats and watercraft for the summer, along with hundreds of motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides from all the major brands. Stop out and watch the game with them on April 27th. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, 27th and I-80. They'll be tailgating all day.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. Taking a look, still Husker football. The Spring League rosters, right? A lot's been made, Strick, about how competitive these practices are where they have the three different teams. So you get offense versus defense for all these three teams for a lot of live competitive reps. Let's just go through these teams a little bit here, starting with the team that I would guess, hypothetically, would get the most attention, the one with Dylan Raiola at quarterback. Okay, so Dylan Raiola, quarterback of the Bug Eaters, running back Quentin Ives and Maurice Mazuka, tight ends Luke Lindenmeyer and Ian Flint. Wide receivers, this is interesting to me, Strick. You don't have Dylan Raiola working with any of the big name transfers or any of the older guys. You have him working with the younger ones. The experienced guy in his wide receiver group is Jalen Lloyd. Then you add Ja'Cory Barney, the freshman out of Miami, and Demetrius Bell, who had a lot of good offers and has been really picking up some steam in conversations throughout this spring. Sounds like it's a young guy working with some of the young guys. Do you like that approach for the Dylan Raiola Bug Eater squad?
Yeah, I'm cool with that because I think he's going to be fine with the older guys. I think it's a great way to bridge some of that. We talk about the need to retain, to keep, to want to stay the course over multiple years, because you have to figure out a way to retain your foundation, the younger part of your roster. You got to figure out. That's the different thing about recruiting of today. You've got to figure out how to. And I think him working with the younger guys basically shows that we care about you. We appreciate you. See, we're putting you with, the best of what we have at the quarterback position. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a wise choice. I also think it's a confident choice to give to Kalen to work with some of the veteran guys. So I think that's pretty cool too.
We'll get to that team here in just a sec. I was going to throw out the offensive lineman as well. Protecting Dylan Raiola, Micah Mazuka, the big transfer from Baylor, Florida, and now in Nebraska. You throw Gibson Pyle and Grant Bricks on the same offensive line. I've heard some pretty good stuff about them early on. So you get really, I think, the three core pieces of that class, Strick, in Raiola and those two offensive linemen all on the same team. You mentioned the Kalen team. he gets a guy in competition for RB1 with Emmett Johnson as his running back, Borkacher and Eternock, there would be his tight ends. And then you do get some, older wide receivers with him. You throw Isaiah Nayor with Daniel Kalen, Janarin Bonner, Keelan Smith, and then Jaden Doss in that conversation. The offensive line, Gatula, Machachak, Sledge, Knack, Butley, and Knutson. That's a pretty good offensive group there for Daniel Kalen to be working with.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I want to see what the line is gonna. And again, that's one of the areas for me, both in the interior, on the offensive and the defensive side, is one of the areas I wanted to see improvement as far as depth. I wanted to see more depth, and so this is where I want to assess what this line looks like on both sides of the ball. But we get a chance to see on the offensive side what that's hopefully going to be.
Then the third team, quarterbacked by Heinrich Harburg. You have Ramir Johnson and Dante Dowdell, both in the running back room for Heinrich Harburg. He's throwing to Thomas Fedoni, his favorite target last season. Isaac Dickey at fullback. Alex Bullock and Jamal Banks are the wide receivers here on this team. And the offensive line, I think, has a couple big names as well. Teddy Prohaska, Jacob Hood, Dylan Parrott, Ben Scott, Henry Lutovsky, and Bryce Benhart. That's a lot of the older guys there on that unit, some familiarity there. And again, I'm not trying to read too far into this necessarily. I don't think this is a 1s, 2s, and 3s situation necessarily, but that is a lot of your older experienced offensive linemen, your highly touted transfer wide receiver in Jamal Banks that has rave reviews, and an experienced guy in Ramir Johnson, and the other guy challenging for RB1 reps and Dante Dowdell. This is definitely the most experienced team in the Nebraska Spring Football League, such as it is.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. I like how they split it up. Did you like the format last year? Did you like the way that it went? It
was fine.
I thought it was okay.
It's fine. Whatever.
I would have liked to see a little bit, but we're going to see. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting.
Let's take a look at the defensive lines too here really quick. So the Rattlesnake Boys team, I think, has a really good defensive line. James Williams, Riley Van Poppel, Cam Lenhart is starting that off. That is one heck of a top
There's
three.
a name in there that you hadn't heard in a while. We're hoping he becomes just as good as Pops.
Is that Van Pops?
No, Keneally.
Keneally. There you go. And then the Old Gold Knights, Daniel Kalen, Jamari Butler, Nash Hutmacher, Lefotu. You also have, my glasses on, can't read that far. I'm getting old, Strick. I need my glasses.
That's all good.
Goldman and Murphy on the defensive line for Kalen. And then for the Riola Bug Eaters team, AJ Rollins, Vincent Carroll Jackson, Ty Robinson, and Elijah Judy. So the more I look up and down these teams, you can see some of the strengths of these teams where you think they might be good at. But overall, I'm going to give Nebraska credit for, I think, making some pretty balanced teams. I can see how these would be, very competitive periods, regardless of which offense is facing which defense.
Well, then also you're seeing some different looks in places for players, really probably positioning them to see where their strengths may lie. Like, for example, for, Javen Wright, moving him to more of a linebacker position. You're seeing some of these little tweaks, because I think he could be kind of Terrell Farley-ish potentially, with, not to say, I like the athleticism part of him, the speed and the ability to kind of work off the line. Now, Terrell was an anomaly, but I
still is.
I just like what, Coach White is doing in trying to, tweak some areas and make them maybe, if you can't, why put them in positions where there's so much competition and depth? Like Jamel Williams, for example, was another one where they moved him down and got him into a linebacker. Terrell Farley kind of blitzing and a lot of attacking, but he was really a safety. He wasn't really a linebacker, but he was able to play the position. I think the style of the 3-3-5 gives you that kind of versatility to be able to do a lot of different things with different types of players. And so we're getting a chance to see this.
I like it. I like how it's broken up. The Husker football account on Twitter did officially post the teams. So as we go to break here, text line comment section, take a look at them. We gave you a little bit of a rundown But the three teams, again, are the Bug Eaters, the Old Gold Knights, and the Rattlesnake Boys. Drop us a line. Which of those teams would you be riding with if you had to pick one of them for your starting lineup? Let us know, 402-464-5685, or, of course, on the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Big thanks to Starter Heyman Jewelers for sponsoring those. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll dive into 3-on-3. I got 3 fun topics, mostly sports-related. Maybe not. We'll throw those to Stricky. We'll go back and forth on those and definitely want your involvement as we lead off hour 2 of On the Block.
Accused of a crime is your freedom at stake. At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing the court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we believe in treating every person with respect, compassion, and understanding. When legal troubles are keeping you up, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. To learn more, call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
The Lincoln Marathon hits the streets Sunday, May 5th. Will you be part of the pack? Registration is now open for the full and half marathon at thelincolnmarathon.org. This event offers something for runners of all ages and abilities, from elite athletes to those looking to accomplish a fitness goal or check off a bucket list item. Sign up now to run the marathon on Sunday, May 5th. If running isn't in the cards, consider volunteering on race day. Complete event details can be found at lincolnmarathon.org.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Take your internet service to new levels with Allo, your award-winning internet provider across our fiber hoods. Allo isn't just about the fastest internet available. It's about connecting you to your world, work, and play seamlessly. Our award-winning service ensures affordable, secure, and reliable connectivity, setting us apart. Ready to transform your internet experience? Experience the fiber difference today. Sign up now at allofiber.com. Allo.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Here we go, hour 2 of the show on a Wednesday. Big thanks to Sartor Heyman Jewelers for giving us our video streams. They are the sponsor, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Otherwise, we would not be on the air right now. The Kansas City Royals still in a rain delay in Baltimore. We want to make sure we get this Royals game on the air, so we'll be sticking with that over the air, but we appreciate you seeking us out on those video streams, and many more of you, I'm sure, watching statewide on Allo Channel 961. Stricky, we have to shout out Allo 961 especially because we see all these FFA kids walking by, Future Farmers of America, and coming by in droves. Saw a lot of them in the parking garage before my walk over here. And that's fantastic. So if you're in town for the FFA convention and you've managed to find us, hey, appreciate that. Take the news back home. If you're an Allo subscriber, flip it to channel 961, every corner of the state, northwest, southeast, southwest, northeast, wherever. It doesn't matter. 93.7, the ticket is there. We turn our attention now. Also, thanks to Nebco for sponsoring the show. Would be remiss if we didn't shout them out. We turn our attention to a new segment here, Strick. We meant to get this in a couple weeks ago. 3-on-3. You know, sometimes there's just some funny stuff going on in the world. Sometimes some funny stuff in the wide world of sports that we just don't necessarily get a chance to talk about. Can't make a full segment out of. So what better way to do it than to throw 3 of those topics into one segment? I'll throw these to you. Let you respond, and we can go back and forth as needed. The first one that popped up to me was the NFL's performance-based pay. I had no idea that was a thing, but it became a headline because Aaron Rodgers received $81. 81 whole dollars in performance-based pay. That's the lowest payout that anyone received. Some other notable ones to put that $81 in perspective. Brock Purdy basically doubled his pay salary, because of this performance-based pay. He took home an extra $740,000. Baltimore Ravens guard John Simpson, now with the Jets, took home the most money from this performance-based pay incentive structure, $974,000 he made. Basically what it is how many snaps did you play? Were you on the field a lot? And how does that number of snaps compare to other people at your position? I think the top 10 or so. I had no idea this existed. It was apparently written into the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, back in like 2002 for the NFL. I'd like to think I paid decently close attention. I had no idea this performance-based pay was out there. It's pooled from reducing the rookie pool, right? They now have the rookie scale contract, and then also the veteran minimum contracts. That's where this money comes from, kind of that same pool. Did you know the NFL had performance-based pay?
I knew there was a form of it, but my question is where does it come from? I mean, you just said where it comes from, but what I mean is, when you look at the pay, is it considered part of the cap, or is it considered just, bonuses, or do bonuses? So that's where I kind of get lost.
Well, it doesn't come from the teams. It comes from the league.
It comes from the league.
The league. Yes.
Oh,
how about that?
See, that's just extra. You know what I mean? Now, does every player get that?
Well, if Aaron Rodgers is getting it, I would think every
part of a
player's getting
contract, right? Yeah. See, that's what I would be interested in knowing. Because on that level, I didn't know it. I didn't know it was separate, because I've even just realized, Austin, that NBA contracts in some instances have some creativity to it, where I used to think they were just so basic. Like, it was like, okay, it is what it is. Boom, it's guaranteed. You play. Okay, now I understand that there's all-star bonuses, and if you're a all-NBA team and all these different types of things, I knew you get some incentives and bonuses for that. But there's some other creative things that I see that they're doing now. So my question would be, what sport has the most creative incentive-based structure?
Okay, so let me walk this back a little bit before I get to that. This is from The Athletic. So here's how it works. The program was created to ensure players who overperformed on low salary see their pay increased.
And what's the low salary? Are you going to tell me that? What is considered a low salary?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Each team has a certain amount, which does not count against the cap, to distribute based on a set formula. So each team has about $12 million in performance-based money to distribute. So teammates compete against each other essentially for these payouts, because it's up to the team. Essentially based on the
How does Aaron Rodgers get on that list? Help me.
How does he not get on that list?
No, what I'm saying is, how does he making almost $50 million?
Yeah.
How is he considered to be a Brock Purdy low salary guy? Just help me understand.
Well, he's not. It's in place to help the low salary guys, but it's not just for them.
Yeah.
So it's calculated this way. You count how many plays that each player participated in during the previous regular season, divide that number of snaps by the number of plays for each team's player with the most snaps, hypothetically. It's weird.
It's a formula.
It's a formula. And then you plug their salary in there somewhere, kind of plug and chug, and away it goes. I really think football does have the most unique kind of performance structure, especially when you look at like coach contracts. I know basketball's out there. I mean, college basketball, especially Kevin Keats gets his 2-year extension kicked in for winning the ACC
Can you
tournament.
believe that? How much he ended up making? Almost $3 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Yo, the run you make, and it's got to be something more about the NCAA. You Final Four bonus has got to be something lovely.
You would think.
Whew. My goodness.
Here's my other question for you. Teams often have it set up to where they just pay the highest bonus. Should they have to pay every, rung along the way? So like Kevin Keats' case, he gets the 2-year extension and the bonus for winning the ACC tournament.
Well, how can I get in if I'm an assistant coach? How can I tap in? How can I touch a little bit of that cashola? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, is there a little sidebar distribution?
Better be.
I would hope so.
Increased assistant coaching pool.
So. Okay.
But like college football coaches, they get a bonus for making a bowl game or making a New Year's Six bowl game or appearing in the college football playoff or making the national championship game or winning it. I get it. Schools only have so much money and they only pay the highest bonus. I would love to see them pay for everyone that you reach. So if it's $50,000 for making a bowl game and then, $75,000 for making a New Year's Six game, $100,000 for making the college football playoff, $150 for making the national championship game, $250 for winning the whole thing. Pay it all.
Pay it all.
Pay it all.
I love it.
That's right.
Structure it in my deal.
Speaking of pay it all, there's a new college basketball tournament coming in 2025. Here's topic number 2. as we get to the 3-on-3. Fox is putting on a new postseason tournament called the College Basketball Crown. It will be a 16-team men's-only postseason tournament beginning spring 2025. The first tournament will have 2 schools from the Big Ten, 2 schools from the Big 12, and 2 schools from the Big East, in addition to 10 at-large participants.
And when is this played?
It's a competitor to the NIT. So those teams that don't make the NCAA tournament that are on the bubble will now have to choose between the NIT or this Fox deal. But here's the thing.
More money.
NIT is on ESPN. Big 12, Big 10, Big East have TV deals with Fox. So if you want to keep your TV partner happy, you say no to the NIT and you go to this Fox event.
Ha-ha. Aha. I think you found something. I love TV competition. Austin, I love TV competition because now we're fighting for ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to sign in and get the rating? But what type of payout do we get?
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to help me to, because it could spurn. Hey, you want to come over here? Hey, come play with us. That type of come play with us. We give you this and this and this. Wait a minute. I raised you on that. If I'm Fox, I got a little bit of this and this and this for you. I would love to see the competition. I think it's good. I think competition is always good. I hate monopolies, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is. I hate, and I can say that. I literally hate. Like, for example,
you're going to punch the guy with the monocle.
One thing I love about
see you, Mr. Monopoly. Do not pass go.
One thing I'll say that I liked about Texas is they offer competition in the energy sector. So like if you're here in Nebraska, some of you that are listening definitely are not from Nebraska, but if you are, you understand the difference between the, having to just deal with only OPPD.
Mm-hmm.
And then like if you're in Texas, it's deregulated. So you can deal with NRG and you can deal with Texas TCU. You can deal with any of these green initiative places. You actually can go out and petition with different people to say, what you giving me? What you giving me? What you give? And it's the same that we have to watch when we're dealing, like even with our insurance, right? Sometimes your insurance company, when you get renewals and you after your time runs out with them for the 6 months or whatever, and it renews, you might need to go check and get with somebody else and find out, what else is out there, because sometimes they'll just kind of take it for granted. That's what I hate. And that's why I love competition. And I think we need more of it. And I think this is awesome.
My biggest question is how much money really is there, for this competition? Because obviously the NCAA tournament, what we think of as March Madness, is the big deal. Billions of dollars tied up in March Madness and millions that gets distributed to the conferences and the schools. The NIT isn't nothing. The NIT actually predates the NCAA tournament by a year, maybe 2. But I feel like the NIT had carved out its nice little niche, right? I enjoy watching NIT basketball. It's a springboard for teams for the next season. I mean, Wisconsin, NIT Final Four team last year, TCU a couple of years ago won it and then bounced into the NCAA tournament. I'll be curious to see if it does come down to that negotiation and that bartering, because I could see, some coaches saying there's some pretty junk teams in this Fox event. I'm going to go play in the NIT. It's better competition. We know what the NIT is about. We know it's going to be a well-run event. But does their athletic director step in and say, Coach, I hear you, but this is our TV partner. You have to play in this tournament for business. Yeah. Will there be enough money to keep this Fox one going and actually legitimately compete with the NIT? I'm fascinated to see that.
Yeah, and what I'm fascinated too is what format are they going to use? Because what I liked about the NIT is depending on what your seed was, if you may be granted an extra home game, an extra on-campus game, which is
you
also
guys had
good
that during your NIT run, right?
Yeah, we got one game at home afterwards, and then we had to go out to Fresno. But I like that. I like that you get that extra game, just that one more game at home in front of your fans and your people. So what is the Fox format going to be like? That's what I'm interested to understand as well. Is it going to be similar to that? You're going to get an extra home game? Or are they going to go to a destination? How that
Where do you think they're going? They're going somewhere. No home games. Where do you think they're going?
Vegas. It's got to be.
Yep. MGM Grand Garden Arena and T-Mobile Arena.
Got to be. Yeah.
Yep.
But everybody wants to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And you think so. I would have. I want to hear from you guys. Talk to your boy. Talk to your boy Stricky on the stream or on 402-464-5685. If you were Fox and you had a destination of choice, I'm going to give you 4. I'm just going to throw out about 4 of them. And I want you to tell me if your team was playing, which location would you be more apt to jump on a plane, pay the ticket, and go to? Okay, we're going to say Vegas is 1.
Tweet it out at eStrict20 when you're done.
I'm going to tweet it out at eStrict20 when I'm done. And we're going to put a little poll together. eStrict20, you'll also be able to find this poll. But I'm going to say Vegas. I'm going to give 2, and I'm going to let you give 1. I'm going to give 3.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Orlando. Phoenix.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, okay.
Give me 2.
It can't be the Garden. Can't be New York City because the NIT is already there. I almost wonder if this 4th site would have to rotate because I think Indianapolis does a really good job hosting these events. I think Dallas, Houston do a really good job. Minneapolis has been in the running before. What about like a Seattle? I think that's an underrated sort of basketball scene. Yeah, maybe it's a little dreary in the spring, but especially if pro hoops are coming back to Seattle, I think having it, even if it's a rotating basis, every 4 years, I throw it up in Seattle. Throw it at Key Arena. Get some hoops up there, kind of re-energize that local scene, and throw a bone. I mean, yeah, Vegas is west, but Vegas is really that destination. So I'm going to throw Seattle into that mix, Tricky.
Okay. So there it is. If your team, your favorite team, college team, was going to be playing in the Fox College Basketball Tournament coming in 2025, and I'm going to tweet these locations, where would be your destination of choice to go? Where would be your destination of choice to go? I'm going to tweet that out right now with those cities. And what are we going to go? 5 cities?
4.
We're going to go 4 cities.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to go with Phoenix. We're going to go with Orlando. We're going to go with
what'd you say?
Vegas. We're going to say Vegas. Okay. And we're going to go with, you said Seattle.
I said Seattle.
Final answer. We're going to go with Seattle. Final answer. And we're going to leave that up for a day in a few hours since you got the rest of the hours of the day today. And go in there and let us know. And we'll tweet it also at 93.7 The Ticket, where you may be able to find it as well. And I'll tweet Austin as well with that.
And at On the Block 937.
Yeah, and On the Block
937. That's us. Give it a follow. While you're doing that, Stricky, here's the last topic for 3-on-3 before we get to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. There was a motion in the House of Representatives to rename Dulles Airport. They would call it Donald J. Trump Airport. We're not getting into the politics now, that part of it. But here's the thing, Stricky. You're famous. You've done some things in your life. In D.C.?
Wow.
In Virginia, technically.
Well, that's unbelievable because it is very Democratic heavy.
Which is why it's not going to pass. I mean, the Republicans have control of the House right now. Democrats have control of the Senate. It's not going to happen. That's besides the point. If you, Erick Strickland, could have a building named after you, what building is being named after you?
The Woodman Tower.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
The Erick Strickland Woodman Tower.
Let's do it.
Are you lighting it up Mavs colors? You lighting it up?
I like light blue. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I think the Mavs colors worked with me. I mean, it's blue. It's a little darker, but I actually like light blue, bro.
Lighting it up Husker red ever?
Why not?
Celtics green? Knicks
No.
blue and orange? No.
I love the Celtics blue, green though. I mean, I'm a Celtic too. But
So you're taking the Woodman Tower over the Bellevue West Gym.
Ooh.
You're taking the Woodman Tower
man.
over the
Come
PBA
on,
court.
baby. Woodman Tower, baby. It's high. Everybody, you flying in. You're going to see the Woodman Tower. I love that. Let's go. Woodman
Okay.
Tower.
Okay.
Talk to me. You.
Respect.
You.
I see where you're coming from, but I'm going to keep it simple. Just give me like
Memorial. I know you, Memorial Stadium.
No, I'm not that basic. I'm not that basic. Come on now.
Okay, what?
Lincoln-
Austin Orman Stadium?
When Lincoln Lutheran builds a baseball field, I want it named after me.
Okay.
Not that I was the greatest, not that I was the best, but that'd be pretty cool.
That would
be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Sentimental. What
Shout out
can
to
I say?
Lincoln Lutheran. I love going over there and speaking to those gentlemen. I actually still love that conversation. You set that up, Austin.
I helped.
You helped.
So, you delivered, though. You're
It
the
was
man.
good. It was good.
It sure was. Let's take a break. Let's call up Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan put out a really interesting tweet about a potential regional that he saw broken down. We'll get Evan's thoughts on that for Husker baseball, the storylines that would be involved with it, recap of the game last night, and all sorts of stuff. He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block in 93.7 The Ticket.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in April. Try their brand new cake batter cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. And try the caramel latte, as 10% of proceeds from that drink will go to the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Furious Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Furious Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. We go to our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, I know you're covering a lot of Husker baseball. Did you by chance get to see or witness any of what Victor Wembanyama was doing against the Nuggets last night?
You know, I saw a video on my social media feed, but I didn't click on it. So you might have to tell me. I heard it was pretty impressive.
Darn near a quadruple double, not just a triple double. He had like 28 points, 15 rebounds, I think 8 assists and 9 blocks. So he's doing Victor Wembanyama things.
Wow.
Hey,
yeah.
He's an alien. E.T. phone home, Evan. You see how big them fingers are? That wraps halfway around the ball. This is crazy. He's a freaking anomaly doing stuff like that in his rookie year. Wait till just think if he had a body like your boy.
Tim Duncan?
The illustrious big fundamentals Tim Duncan. What just what if he had that? Oh my gosh. There'd be nothing you could do with him.
Well, now you're getting me all excited for Spurs games, and it's been a few years here. So, I mean, what is he, 19, something like that? Mm-hmm. Like, he's going to grow into his body, and I think the Spurs have, the third or fourth worst record in the NBA right now. So they're building this thing, kind of reminds me of, the Thunder from a decade ago when they had a few bad seasons. They stockpiled draft capital, and now if you hit on guys, that thing can turn around pretty quick. So they've been competitive. They got the franchise cornerstone, another round or two of high picks, and maybe people down in San Antonio will be partying like it's the mid-2000s again.
They'd be partying like Prince, 1999, when they won the lockout championship.
Yeah, beat the 8-seed Knicks in the final. That was quite the year.
It was indeed. Well, Evan, no shame in you having missed the Victor Wembanyama show. Doing your actual job rather than rooting for your other team. Husker baseball and Creighton. Your takeaways from Nebraska's 5-3 loss that snapped the long winning streak yesterday.
I mean, it was a good game, and we kind of expected it would be. The winner was going to get a quad one victory, and honestly, it kind of reminded me of a lot of recent Nebraska-Creighton games, not just in the outcome, which Creighton has kind of handled that bit of the rivalry in recent years, but also I'm always struck by how the teams approach it differently. I mean, Creighton will go into that game and they make no bones about the fact that it's a huge game for them and that it's different. The crowd's different. The intensity's different, and they typically rise to the occasion. Now, Nebraska has usually been of the mind that it's a marathon, not a sprint. You treat every game the same. And there was a little bit of an acknowledgement maybe that those in-state games do mean something, but just the emotion, I think, certainly favored what Creighton had going on. And then it was just about the fast start. I mean, both teams, quite honestly, had some pretty good pitching performances. Nebraska in the back half of their game, Creighton pretty much throughout. And so it was a matter of who took that early lead. And, Creighton gets the quick home run and another 2-run single, and it just kind of felt like it was going to be an uphill battle for Nebraska. Now, I think offensively, the Huskers probably regressed a little bit, struck out 14 times, that tied a season high. And then, you had, I think it was 9 pitchers in the game, and not all of them were spotless. So they just didn't have a ton of margin for error there. But ultimately, I think it's one of those games, if you're Nebraska, that you lose, that kind of chaps you from a pride standpoint, but really not so much an RPI or postseason resume standpoint. I mean, Creighton, they're 21-4 now. They're a top 40 RPI team. That's not going to ding you too much, especially on the road. So as much as people maybe bemoan another Creighton loss and a midweek setback, it really doesn't do all that much to change the trajectory that team's on.
You mentioned the offense and the 14 strikeouts. Do you credit most of that to good pitching from Creighton or a breakdown in approach from Nebraska in the batter's box?
Probably more the Creighton performance than what Nebraska was doing. I mean, they put some of their highest leverage relievers in there, especially late in the game. The guy that they started with, Malachi Vitak, he was, someone who's had success against Nebraska before. So I think they knew what they were doing in terms of the arms that they put out there. But, I think we talked to Caden Brumbaugh after the game, the second baseman, DH, and he said, maybe there's a little bit of pressing. Maybe there was a little bit of getting away from their approach. Like they always say, hunt the fastball. So you look fastball, and then that allows you then to adjust to the off-speed pitches. And I think Nebraska would tell you that in this particular night, maybe they didn't adjust to some of the off-speed stuff as well as they have.
You mentioned, too, the fact this is maybe a pride loss more so than a damaging loss. You tweeted something out a couple hours ago, hour and a half ago now. One outlet nationally saying Nebraska's hosting a regional, which is in and of itself notable. I mean, 15 overall national seed. They'd be matched up with, number 2, I think, on the other end, should they win their regional. But the 2 and 3 seeds in that regional, LSU and Creighton. I don't know which is more astounding. I mean, Nebraska hosting a regional, or you get, national power defending national champ LSU, and then in-state rival Creighton coming down the road. Which aspect of that stood out to you more, the Nebraska hosting or the opponents?
Probably, I suppose you'd have to say the hosting, just because if you're, this was D1 baseball. If they had Nebraska 24, then, only 16 teams end up hosting. So that would tell you that they would feel like that's a team that will continue to rise and maybe make a run in the Big Ten. So I think that would be notable. And just the fact that the Big Ten, since Nebraska's been there, has only had 5 teams host a regional during that time. So it's not something that happens every year or even really every other year. So probably it would be that vote of confidence in Nebraska to host. But man, how about the other end of that thing too? I mean, as someone replied to me, the tailgating would be spectacular. LSU fans are used to coming up to Nebraska for the College World Series. They come up to the CWS even when their team's not there by the thousands. I can't imagine what that parking lot at Haymarket Park would be like with purple and gold. And then you have Creighton backers come down as well. And not to mention just the excitement from Nebraska fans if they were able to host for the first time since 2008. So, it's one of those things that, I suppose as fans and media, we can kind of think about and wonder what that would be. Obviously, if you're the team and the coaches, that's the furthest thing from your mind as you're getting ready for Big Ten play in Ohio State this weekend. But I think it's just kind of a reminder that, man, when Nebraska baseball is going well, the month of May and early June is a ton of fun. And there's been a whole generation that hasn't experienced Haymarket Park in June with playoff baseball. And it'd be a really cool thing. It'd be quite the spectacle. Obviously, a lot's got to happen for that to materialize, but just the fact that they're in that discussion right now, I think has a lot of people excited.
Similar tree, different branch here. I saw a different projection that had Nebraska going down to, drumroll, Stillwater again. And Evan, I don't want to throw my Nebraska conspiracy tinfoil hat on too much, but I am starting to wonder if it's, a capital T thing for selection committees with Nebraska and storylines. We know about both basketball teams playing Texas A&M in the Trev Alberts Bowls, but Nebraska went down to Stillwater, in one of its last regional appearances, went down to Arkansas in its most recent appearance, and there are plenty of storylines there. Is it a thing with Nebraska and storylines from the committees, or am I just being conspiratorial?
I mean, I've talked to some of those selection committee folks before, and they're so in the weeds on their own things that, like, it would shock me if they gave Nebraska a second thought. I mean, when they went in 21, and that was the year after the COVID year, and they had to award regional hosts before the end of the season, the fact that Nebraska wasn't in that discussion really didn't even come up that much for the committee. I think that's not necessarily even a reflection on Nebraska, but more the Big Ten and its place in college baseball. I mean, it's kind of the middle class, maybe upper middle class in that sport. Whereas, of course, you're talking basketball, football. It's right at the top or right near the top. So, no, I don't think the committee gives Nebraska a whole lot of thought unless the Huskers sort of force the issue. And when you're 20-6, you're starting to force the issue a little bit. And I think when you're looking at teams going to places like Arkansas and Oklahoma State, I mean, certainly the 21 year, there was an argument to be made in a normal circumstance that they could have hosted, maybe should have hosted. But I think generally speaking, they also try to keep two seeds close geographically. And that's what they were when they went to, I guess it was Oklahoma City in 2019 because Okie State's field was under construction. But, I think that's kind of the thought process there now is, okay, if that's a high 2, you still want to keep them somewhat close geographically so fans can come. And I think as us old Big 12 folks, Big 8 folks remember, it's really not all that far to drive south to Stillwater for a few days.
It's really not Stillwater, Oklahoma City, wherever. Let's switch gears to Husker football. I thought it was interesting that the official Husker football account posted the rosters for the 3 different teams that are competing against each other here in spring ball. The first team posted, the Bug Eaters team, has Dylan Raiola, not throwing to one of the transfer wide receivers. The 3 listed, Ja'Cory Barney, Demetrius Bell, and Jalen Lloyd. That's an interesting group of young guys. Do you think that was a concerted effort by the coaching staff to get Raiola with those younger guys potentially as ones that, he'll be throwing with for multiple years and maybe start that connection off, early here in spring ball?
That's a good question. I don't know, and maybe I missed this, but I don't remember how those teams were constructed. If the coaches put those together, if there was a draft of some kind. I know they have like general managers, player general managers of that team. So I'm not sure if that was an intentional thing from the coaches or if that's just how it came together. But you do look at this setup, and first of all, it's fun, right? Like we're talking about it. The social media is pumping it out. Players are excited about it. But it just underscores further this off-season theme of competition and this idea that you're not just competing on fall Saturdays, but like if it's a lifestyle, if it's something you do every day, then those moments in the fall become a little bit more second nature. And so just this idea that Dylan Raiola has a chance to quarterback his own little team within the Nebraska program and be able to throw to some of those young receivers and to build that rapport and build that trust. Like, I mean, yeah, it's fun and they're going to want to win those reps and those practices, but it's also, it's also building that camaraderie and that experience together that is going to be beneficial in the fall. So I think that's probably the most interesting part, and we'll hear about how it all shakes out as practice goes along and all that. But I just think the more you can get guys in game settings, hitting hard, having something tangible on the line now, the smoother that transition is going to be, if you can even see it at all when it starts in the fall.
Demetrius Bell is a name that we've heard quite a bit since spring ball opened up. What have you heard from coaches or players about the redshirt freshman?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, he's one of those guys behind the scenes last year who got a lot of rave reviews. He was on the scout team. I think he got a reputation as being physical, as being fast. I know he was a target in the off season of other schools that were interested in his services, even though he didn't play, which I think tells you something about his ability and what he can do moving forward. So that's kind of where you want to get to as a program, right? Like you want necessarily need a true freshman, no matter how skilled, to come in and carry the load on offense right away. And so he had the luxury of, adjusting to college behind the scene, getting his body in a better place. And now, by all accounts, he's ready to come out here and be a contributor pretty quickly. So we'll see how that shakes out. And Nebraska's had trouble in really the last decade with bringing along young receivers, certainly ones that they recruited and didn't get out of the portal. So, if he is able to pop pretty quickly, I think that'd be a good sign, not just for Nebraska, but how it's recruited, how it's developed, some of its skill players. And I think he's earned that reputation internally, and it'll be fun to see how quickly that may materialize here in the fall.
Listed at, I think, 6 foot 175. Is he more Billy Kemp, more Wan'Dale Robinson? What do you think the role for him would be?
I mean, I think they like him on the outside. Just from what I've heard about his physicality, though, it probably does remind me maybe a little bit more of Wan'Dale. Maybe not quite as thick as him, but like someone who doesn't necessarily shy away from contact, who can offer that game-breaking speed, who can be a little bit more interchangeable potentially. Obviously, you got to lock down the spot you start in before you can start moving around and being in the slot or doing different things. But that would be my early thought. We haven't seen him play in Nebraska, so it's kind of hard to say without laying eyes on him. But just from the reputation that he's got, it does kind of remind me a little bit, I suppose, of how they used Wan'Dale a few years ago.
I also want to pick your brain on the running back spot. Looking across these 3 rosters that were put out, Quentin Ives, Emmett Johnson, then Ramir Johnson are the 3 running backs listed first. Again, it's not a depth chart, not starters necessarily. But Ramir Johnson and Dante Dowdell are on the team with Heinrich Harburg. It's Emmett Johnson with Daniel Kalin, and then Dylan Raiola and Quentin Ives. How do you break down the running back competition? Is it Emmett Johnson versus Dante Dowdell? Do you give Ramir a shot? Healthy Gabe Ervin, does he factor in? Quentin Ives got some emergency snaps last year. How do you kind of handicap that running back competition?
Yeah, it's one of the, outside of quarterback and maybe receiver, I think it's one of the big questions that need to be answered this spring. Like, to me, it's a successful spring at running back for Nebraska if somebody becomes the guy, if somebody becomes kind of the obvious lead back. And Nebraska hasn't had that in a while. They've had some depth at that position, but you got to go back to, Amir Abdullah, Divine Ezigbo in 2018, maybe, as like the last time Nebraska had what you would call sort of that bell cow, or that guy that you can lean on consistently in those spots. And so who that is exactly, I think, remains to be seen. Maybe it's Dowdell, who was a 4-star recruit, went to Oregon and sort of inexplicably wasn't able to redshirt there. He played 6 games. And so he's got a chip on his shoulder, I think, to show that his recruiting hype, what he was in high school, can translate to college. Ervin is going to be out at least partially in the spring, maybe the entire spring. So it's going to be hard to evaluate him. He's suddenly a guy who's struggled to stay healthy in his Nebraska career, usually through no fault of his own, but it's just kind of broken that way for him. Ramir Johnson has been around the program for a long time. So I think maybe his role is a little bit more supplemental, just in terms of his ability to be a receiver and to kind of move around in different spots. Ives is someone, again, we haven't seen play, but coaches have consistently been really excited about what his potential is too. And then Emmett Johnson, this is a big spring for him. I mean, he came on, like you mentioned, in sort of pinch hitting duty late because of injuries last year, but he was an accomplished recruit out of the state of Minnesota, and is somebody that could potentially be that guy too. So maybe it comes down to who had a better off season, who's bigger, faster, stronger. But man, you just love it if somebody kind of became that no doubt guy moving forward that Nebraska could rely on this season and beyond.
Then on the other side of the ball, yesterday we heard from defensive coordinator Tony White. Nash Hutmacher's comments got a lot of run. Cam Lenhart was at the podium. But Terrence Knighton, right, the coach for those 2 players, what did you take away from Coach Knighton's availability and what he said about his room?
He seemed like a guy who was pretty happy with the guys that he had in there. I mean, and who wouldn't be? Like, when you're talking about needing some depth at that spot, and you can start with Nash, Hutmacher, or Ty Robinson, but you can go down the list and say, hey, here's Cam Lenhart year 2. Okay, how good's he going to be? Even in a year. Prince Will, Uman Mielen down the road, what's he going to look like? Riley Van Poppel, who got a handful of snaps and some meaningful ones last season. I think of that stuff that he had at Illinois that made a big difference. So, like, you know, it's a group that's in really good shape right now. I mean, you know, kind of who the starters are. They look the part, but you also kind of can see, okay, this is what it'll look like in a year or even 2 years down the road. James Williams is another guy, you know, the sack man who came on late last season. He redshirted. Now he's got another year in the program. So, like, what's next for him? So yeah, you know, Knighton was easy with the smiles. I think he kind of understands these guys have put in some work. They benefited from some returning talent that maybe they didn't necessarily know that they'd get back in guys like Robinson and Huntmaker. So, you know, I think they embrace the idea that if this defense is going to be as good as they expect it to be next year, then it has to start up front. It has to start with those guys being able to stop the run, pressure the quarterback. They did that certainly pretty well at times last year, but they feel like there's even another level that they can reach in 2024.
It's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald with us here on our Allo VIP line. Check out all his work at omaha.com. Give him a follow on Twitter. Evan, as always, appreciate the time. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Once again, Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. A. Foreman coming in next. Not Jay Foreman, A. Foreman. We'll break it down when we get back here to On the Block.
Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Hello? Hello? Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tag-on, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
sick of being upsold at gyms?
My guy, you're currently a base member? For $90 more, I can upgrade you to our Shred membership. For $130 more, you'll be a Swole member. And for just $300 more, you'll reach Sweat Platinum.
At Planet Fitness, you'll get energy without the upsell. Never pushy, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. It's fitness that fits your budget. Join Planet Fitness for just $1 down and $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, April 12th. See Home Club for details.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back at it here one final time. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland, and it is Jay Foreman officially. He did find the jump shot during break.
Jay, hey man, leave your big brother alone, man.
Truth,
what's up?
Jay, you was to the rim and you was banging on heads, but that jumper was not wet.
That stuff was on like a light switch.
Light switches also go off, you know, right?
You
Jay,
quit. What?
Real talk, Jay. Tell the truth. Just be honest.
What?
It was a little broke.
My jumper?
Yeah.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
I don't believe
I'm pulling up right in your face too.
Major cap. There's so much cap in here right now. I don't even know what else.
The only one without a cap is you right now, Stricky.
Because I'm no cap.
Just saying, it's not good.
I know exactly what would have been happening. I came down to Bellevue West, boy. Y'all would still be talking about a brother down because I would have been on your head ASAP off of 1 or 2 feet. I'm coming right, especially when we come down, like when we went down to Rockford, Illinois. You know, they thought Chicago. Oh yeah, right after I'm coming down the lane, hammer time. Just letting you know what I'm doing right from the rip.
I'm not sleepy.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He tried to do me like Shaq did Bill Walton. No, he didn't.
No Diddy.
That's it, man.
I love y'all, man.
I already know I need new friends, man. This just confirms it.
Jay Foreman is a super athlete. I know definitely.
That's just ridiculous. I just can't believe he did me like that, man.
We gotta move on from the conversation.
I can't. I had to switch my headphones up, man, just to make sure that I was hearing it right. I can't even believe he did that on a brother, man. On live TV.
I had to yawn. I was sleepy. Okay.
No. I'm gonna get you back now. Okay.
What we talking about?
You went the big yawn. You went and then you lean back with it. I got something for you, Strick. No, the week is young.
It's early, man.
Yeah.
Thursday, man, coming up. Man,
Yeah.
Y'all see
you gonna have some X-Lax in your Thursday.
You see, and he will do that. That's just crazy. Jay will get with our boy.
Uncle
Kevin,
Kev.
Uncle Kev.
Yeah.
He will get with Uncle Kev and say, in this one, just make sure. He would do it.
Tomorrow we have individual
cans. It ain't going to be tomorrow. It ain't even going to be tomorrow. It's going to be like a week or two.
I got to get you when you're nice and relaxed.
Yeah, that's what he going to do. I know, Jay. Yeah. Okay, talk to me. Where we at?
Y'all see my boy Cooper flag go off last night?
Dude,
how about that? My boy Cooper.
Yeah,
how about him?
He got skills.
Duke garbage.
That court.
Just like the name.
That court was doing too much.
Dookie.
He's got nice games.
I don't like him.
You don't like his game?
No, I like him.
He got some games.
I like his game. I can't even fight Cooper Flag. He's pretty nice. I like he got a little swag to him too.
Yeah,
a little swag. Got a little thing with him.
Yeah.
You would have played against this guy. His NBA comparison, Andrei Kirilenko.
Oh,
really?
I don't know about AK-47.
Was he cold?
AK-47 give you some work, and he'll drop you off. Like, go just look at a YouTube of him.
I remember when he
like.
I remember those jazz teams with
Kirilenko, and you won't even know what's coming. Yeah,
Deron Williams.
Yeah, no, he will lose your stuff into the second row. Like, he was tough. Like, he could guard you, and he would bust you.
Yeah,
your
and
tail
if you
to the
talk
white
slick
meat.
to him, that Russian mafia waiting for you too. I heard stories about when he came to Minnesota, dog. Because that Russian mafia deep in Minnesota. They said, hey, AK-47 was like the king up in there. KG settled down. AK's here.
I believe you.
Yeah,
I believe you.
So if you're,
I like this game, man. I'm not gonna initially say that.
Who
you
you
need to see a little bit more, because here's the thing. I would have said the same thing. Like, I didn't know Chet Holmgren would be Chet Holmgren.
Chet's got some dog.
Oh,
I knew he would be side, but Chet,
I knew it.
he's different. I didn't know he would be like that.
Yeah, see, I know. I got background on Chet. Chet been down North Minneapolis since he been a little kid.
Yeah.
So I knew exactly what it
until
is.
I know. Like, now I know.
And he'll let you know about it.
And he'll
too.
let you know too.
Yeah.
Suggs got that same in him.
This is what I love about the new NBA. If they can massage this and get away from the LeBron James stuff, your boy. Now, I'm not talking about longevity.
Wait. LeBron Ames.
Yeah, no James. Listen
here, man.
Let me tell you why.
It's Wednesday.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with
with
him.
your hate. It's the
I'm
Boston
talking about.
Celtics.
See, you didn't even let me get to. I'm talking about him, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. I'm talking about all of them. I'm not talking about just him.
Yeah.
I'm saying they need to move on from him. They need to find the next wave, which they missed.
John Morant,
your
Zion.
boy now, Zion is starting to kind of.
now he is.
He's starting to kind of turn the corner.
Yeah.
Like, Ja obviously missed for a period.
He
now
might
the
come
injuries,
back, though.
I still think he's got possibility.
They weren't able to give it over.
They weren't able to give it over to light skin Booker.
Tatum. Oh, yeah.
And
Booker.
light skin Tatum.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of still suspect. Jaylen Brown, not there. You know what I mean? They need to move on. They need to recreate these rivalries.
Yeah.
That they used to be. You know what I mean?
Like Chet and Wemby.
Right.
Because they don't like each other.
They don't like each other. And they're both rookies. So you got a lot of time for that to happen.
They don't
couldn't
like
do
each other.
it with Jokic and Embiid. You know, it just didn't work. But
language
boy,
barrier. Yeah. You get
these
them two dudes, and they've been playing against each other for a while.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If they find a way to usher in the young guys at the right pace, I still think you can.
They're gonna move them to big markets eventually, though.
Yeah, but see, I still like having Steph and LeBron, and they will pay it forward back to them, teach them how to, the business aspect, the brand aspect. That's where these young guys miss it. You think about Zion, you think about John Morant. It had nothing to do with basketball. I mean, Zion's off the court did because of the weight, but generally it didn't. When Zion played, he was a dog. Like when he was, but he just so heavy. These guys miss the mark on what Steph Curry, LeBron, KD for the most part until he got way too, thin skin. The brand that they had, it was business every day, all day. Who they hung out with, who they associated with, who they marketed with. Teach these young guys this from the very beginning. Like how, your boy Jordan taught LeBron, he's taught Kobe, he's taught everybody how to do. You really pass it down. Then when they leave, the NBA will be in good hands, no matter how. They don't have to be Hall of Famers or one of the top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
They have got to usher it for a decade or two until the next Jordan, Kobe type of person comes where he can just take the mantle and be that separation of him up here and everybody up here.
I don't see anything outside of the anomaly that Wemby is right now. Like, I was talking with Evan Bland earlier, Jay. I said, if Wemby gets a Tim Duncan body,
it's over.
Oh gosh.
It's over.
Oh gosh. It is there's nothing no one would be able to do with that big boy. Like it would be he would be like Embiid on steroids. Because right now Embiid's at a level to where, just his athleticism, his, at the center position.
Yeah.
Embiid is like
and his
2
range.
times that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got more handle, a little bit more shaky bakey.
Yeah, creative and experience. But, yeah, I mean, But I think what you need is that rival, that true kind of clash of the Titans. Not only the players, but have that team with you. You'd like to have
King Kong Godzilla.
Right. You need OKC to maybe stay together and then break through and meet up with my Timberwolves or somebody because Ant-Man.
Hey, watch out for Ant-Man. No.
Ant versus Shea?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, I mess with Ant-Man. I ain't going to lie to you. I mess with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you lucky. That's what you would have been seeing back in 1990 because that's what you would have seen, real live Ant-Man.
We need to pause for station identification.
We do not. We're on stream.
Yeah, we're on stream. Yeah.
We're good.
We going overtime, Jack.
No, Ant-Man might have gave me some work. I ain't going to lie. He was tough.
We ain't talking about Ant-Man.
No,
we ain't talking about Ant-Man.
To me, Ant-Man is like a better version of J.R. Ryder.
Oh yeah, that's exactly who he is.
Feel me?
Way more skilled, way more
cerebral,
like cerebral, patient, tough-minded. He's just a more spruced up J.R. Ryder.
Yeah.
If J.R. Ryder, this is what I'm talking about now. If J.R. Ryder had somebody like a LeBron or a Steph Curry to kind of pick up the phone and come out for the summer and work out with me and just get him just talking. Look, man, I understand what you're doing. But listen, it's bigger than you. Trust me on this. This is what I learned. This is what Jordan talked to me about or Magic or whatever. Now, if you take it and you can really do it, because people don't realize J.R. Ryder was that dude.
He was him.
The problem is everything outside of it. The funny thing is, if you ever remember when J.R. Ryder drop kicked that lady after the game, when he's the Timberwolves, that's a family friend of mine. It's David Valentini, who's one of the biggest lawyers in Minnesota. It was his wife.
Trouble.
Hey, listen, asking for an autograph.
Oh God!
No. Yes, I swear to God.
No.
And she helped raise me. David Valentini, I love him to death, and it was his wife. And I remember because when I was in I think Buffalo. I was reading it. I was like, David Valentini. I called him and asked him, "Dang, was that his wife?" He was like, "Yeah, you should have seen it." So he just dropped it. Hiya, are you kin?
Karate Kid style.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking?
Are you kidding?
You know what I'm thinking about though, Strick, man? Strick, I was really thinking about this, man. And the reason why I was thinking about it, because I'm going to give you a funny story about your boy, Paul Pierce.
Oh,
is this the truth?
P. Diddy, the original truth.
This is when he played with Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So we go down to Lawrence and kick it a little bit. Paul Pierce, and we was up in Kansas City partying. I forget where it was, Power and Light, and we went to this kind of like where the boats were or whatever. Paul Pierce come up in there. We national champs. And listen, we would tighten you up real quick because I'm rolling with Strick. I'm rolling with Vince. Listen, we catch you slipping. Yeah. We're gonna make sure you ain't gonna put. So he's up, and he's from LA or whatever.
Yeah, that's him.
He throwing up his
sign.
You're saying his sign. Well, we had a teammate that was from Inglewood too. Paul Pierce didn't know. So we rolled up on Paul. Hey, we rolled up on Paul Pierce. That he backed off. But now you see Paul Pierce. Every time that he talks, he is the one thing about Paul Pierce, LeBron took his heart, man. And you know what? This is how I know it. I
watched it up close and personal.
Here's why I know it. He took his heart. This is how I know it. This is from a competitive standpoint. When you have KG, who is your ringleader, Paul Pierce, and all of them, when they talking about one person can't beat us, and then when he drops you that 46 burger, 18 rebounds and steals and sends you home, he is taking your heart like Aryukin. He's still talking about LeBron to this day. To this day, he was talking so much junk about LeBron when he was interviewing Tony Allen. He got Tony Allen to skip over LeBron. They put the stats up there: 38, 40. 42 on Tony Allen. He had the nerve to coerce Tony Allen.
I saw that.
Yes. And you know what it is? That's that Boston Celtics. That's all you do. That's all y'all over there, man. And it starts with KG.
I'm going to be honest. Early LeBron, he didn't want to see Paul.
Right.
He didn't want to see
Yeah, just like Jordan. But Jordan didn't want to see early Pistons. He didn't want to see that. He didn't.
Look at the average. Just go look at the numbers. He averaged 37 on the Pistons, bro.
Right, but he averaged 30 because you averaged 30 shots, though. They were beating the brakes off him. He didn't want that work. He didn't want none of the Celtics in. Yes, he had 63, but you take that L.
I need to depart.
Yeah, where you going? Come here. Take this word. No, you already.
Once Stricky catches breath.
You already hijacked me coming in. Listen, you hit me. Listen, for people out there on the stream, Strick got me 3 times. I come in excited to see my man Strick. Right? He opens the door. This is unprovoked. Austin, you can't even be laughing because you co-signed it. It was Austin Ormer. It was Austin Ormer. If you need a car loan, it's Austin Ormer, and he was co-signing. I'm sitting there chilling, doing a little prep. Oh, Jay, you know what? You ain't have no Jay. They called you A Foreman. Just off the rip. Like, where did this come from? Shots fired. Right?
I don't know what he's talking about. That's cap.
And then we up here talking about
it did happen. It was really funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Then it wasn't that everybody laughing about it. You got AD daughter was in there laughing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bill's laughing.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Dollar Bill was laughing. Yeah, Bach was laughing at so much.
I don't recall.
He said bye to me. He was chuckling at me.
See, now you say now
I don't
they
recall.
spelled Jake Baca with 2 J's. He took your J apparently.
I don't recall.
And then I said, Bach, I might see you on the court tonight. He's like, but you ain't got no J.
Stream. It didn't happen.
And then he said that I talked about basketball. He said you ain't had no jumper. Then he hit me with the
stream. It didn't happen.
The yawn.
It's all right though.
Was the yawn bad, or what
I
he would
didn't
have done
do
with
it.
Steph?
I don't know.
No, it was the yawn was bad because he did it extra wide and then leaned back with it. Like, man, like brother, please. That's the worst part. That's the worst part.
Where we going? We gotta get out of here because it's Thursday.
No, we ain't
Thursday.
going. We're going long.
Thursday.
No, we're going long, Drake. No, we doing this. We on the street. We unsolicited. We are like podcasts.
How about this, Jay? We'll take a break. Get to your show. You set the terms. How about that?
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
How about
man.
that?
Listen, man. I can guarantee you, once I seen you out there and I got that scout report, I'm trying to hammer that bad boy on you right from the rip.
Handles wasn't good enough for me. Oh, I'm talking about you, Austin.
Me?
Your handle.
Yeah, no, you eat me up.
This dude here.
Here's the thing, though.
See, listen, see Austin.
I shoot over you, though.
Austin.
I'm talking about Austin, Jay.
See, if I wanted to be Petty Pat or Petty Paul Pierce, I would be talking about when you came out in spring ball. We're gonna dive into this. We're gonna dive into this basketball. You know, we're going to save this to another time.
Jay,
because when I hit you off on Thursday,
Jay was hitting. Jay was taking cheap shots at me running across the middle.
I was not.
Yes,
I was not. Octavius and McFarland there was. I wasn't trying to do that because I like watching you play basketball.
Let's have this discussion. Old school next.
Accused of a crime is your freedom at stake. At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing the court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty.